I spawned into a desert village called the Holy Roman Empire. I was 1 year old, 2'9", and clueless. Most people in this game focus on farming, crafting, surviving, but this server was different. Here, if you grew tall, you became a target. But I knew one thing though. I needed to get geared up. So I got started. I didn't know what I wanted to be, but I knew I needed protection, so I became a hunter. The only job that could get bones from cows. With enough bones and rope, I could make armor, so that was my plan. Right as I went in for my first cow, I saw the first announcement. The tall must fall. But later, I'd realize that was about people like me. For the next couple of years, I just killed cows. It's a lot harder than you think when you're like a fraction of their size. Like, it took me forever. I really needed one more bone, so I was about to take this cow, but she came out of nowhere and then just took it from me. All I got was raw meat. Later on, I met a barbarian guy just hanging around our base. He was chill. He told me about the tall ones who were 13 feet. I asked what would happen if one of us were born that tall, and he said he would have just killed us. Thank God I'm only 3'5". I gave this random dude some cooked meat because I didn't need it anymore. All I needed was the bones, and I finally got my third piece. The next thing I needed to get my armor was some fiber plants. I needed 4 of them to make 2 rope, so that's what I went and did. I went outside the base, found some, and then I went and crafted my armor. In order to wear this armor, I have to be a warrior. That's what I went and did. I switched quickly, and I put it on. My next milestone to be the perfect warrior was a stone spear. So, I got my wood, I got my plant fibers, and I went to go craft. Now I felt like I could finally fight something, so I threw my wooden dagger on the floor, and I took out my spear. I was ready. Then I made myself a hood so I had a little bit more protection when I was out fighting. Then I started asking around about the tall ones. A farmer told me they're all gone, wiped out. I didn't buy it. Some barbarian overheard me and he walked over. He asked if I seen any nearby, but I didn't know where. I just knew they were out there. I walked to the edge of town and zoomed out as far as I could, and I saw it. It was nearly as tall as the stone wall, so I was terrified. I ran back and started to tell the barbarian what I just saw. So I told him to follow me, and we both started walking. He saw it too, and it was on the very horizon, so we both started walking as fast as we could. He handed me his great club along the way, so I got a massive upgrade on my spear. Once I got in the village, I saw how many of them there were. They didn't even fight back. I saw our new leader saying how he loves our effort, but I wasn't sure how to feel about that. After all, these were all just like kids. That's when I saw the largest giant I've ever seen. He was protecting all of his kids, but he wouldn't even let me single out one. He grabbed his kid and ran down the river. I really tried to chase him down, but he was far too protective. It was unlike any other one I've ever seen. He ended up getting away, and that's when I had a kid. He fell into the river, but he jumped right out. I didn't know if I wanted him. I kind of walked away, but I turned around and ended up picking him up. I decided I'll bring him back to the barbarians to introduce them. They didn't even say hi to him. They didn't ask anything. First thing out of their mouth, how many giants have you killed? So I lied. I said 2. Truth is, I only killed 1. It was a 1-year-old giant that was stuck in the current. I wasn't proud of that, but it doesn't matter. Now my kid's confused, and I don't know what to tell him. I just told him we hate giants. I didn't tell him why. I kind of just made up reasons. I said they take up too much space, and their greed sickens me. And the barbarian chimed in too. He told my child that they're evil and they cause harm. There was really no answer. Honestly, I was just repeating what I heard. Then my son pointed out that I'm 6'3". I told him the giants were 14 feet tall, but I'm not sure if that helps my argument. It looked like everyone was settling down, so I had a drink, and I had my second kid. He didn't really faze me, so I just kind of kept drinking, and I decided I'd give away my spear. My older son ended up grabbing it. By now I was getting antsy. I wanted everyone to go adventure, so I told him to follow me. We ran into another giant, and it was kill on sight. They didn't even have a chance to be peaceful. We ended up befriending a giant, thanks to a barbarian that was part of our group. Kind of ironic. I noticed that we had a bunch of kids slacking behind, so I went back to grab one. I don't even know if it's my kid, because there's 3 kids now. We ended up finding like an abandoned outpost, and I decided the kids were best off here. It seemed like 2 of the youngest kids stayed behind at the village, and the last one left was my oldest son. I turned around and he just collapsed. Nothing even happened, he just died. But we were too far to stop. We could see a giant outlined in the distance, so we walked in there, and there's a whole city of giants. We walked straight up to the leader and started making our demands. They didn't resist, not at first, but I thought maybe this could be different. But then I saw it. One of our barbarians had already started swinging. I didn't even hesitate. I chased the giant down and joined in. He got away, but in that moment, I didn't feel like a warrior anymore. I felt like a raider. That's when the announcement came. Get ready for a possible war with barbarians if need be. The same empire that praised my crusade against the giants was now warning me about the people I'd followed since I was 14. I stood next to the giant leader and I didn't flinch. I wasn't here to protect him. I was here with the barbarians. We waited, and eventually a wall started breaking. 4 warriors in full bronze armor, the best armor in the game, came running through the wall. They were from the Holy Roman Empire, my empire, but I didn't trust them. We all stood together, and the giants were right there. They were weak, but we all hesitated. I waited for someone else to strike first, and eventually somebody did. So I joined in. And that's when we realized there was one giant left. We all surrounded him and someone swung. And that's when it happened. A Roman soldier attacked my barbarian friend. Not a giant, one of us. Another Roman joined in, my allies. They turned on each other. I was too busy watching his bronze helmet hit the ground, and I ran to loot him, and one of my own ended up killing me. Just like that, 31 years gone. I didn't die killing giants. I died scavenging off someone who fought beside me. I don't know if any of my children survived, but I hope they remember why we hunted the tall. That was my life in Civilization Survival. If you want to see more stories like this, go subscribe.